Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Okay, we continue our lecture for this video series. Okay, we have finished the step 1 in the 5 step in problem solving. Okay, we have ended it with looping problems type in the problem analysis. And we know that in the problem analysis, we have to identify I, P, and O. D is the keyword for the first step in the problem solving. The problem analysis is to identify input, process, and output. And we have seen the problem types in the process. We have 3 types of problem, or we have 3 types of control structure. That is sequence, okay, we have selection, and the last control structure is looping or repetition. That's all that we have discussed in the step 1 in problem analysis. And we as a programmer have to know what types of method that we're going to use to solve the problem in the first step to find the input, process, and output in problem analysis. Okay, now let's move to the step number 2. Step number 2 is design a solution. Okay, design a solution. Design a solution involves creating an algorithm. The keyword here is creating an algorithm. An algorithm is a sequence of well-defined steps to solve a problem, or it can be shown as step-by-step instruction to transfer input into output. It has 2 definitions here. Algorithm can be represented using pseudocode and a flowchart. There's a disclaimer here. This step will be discussed in detail in chapter 2, design a solution. Okay. Let's go to the step number 3. Step number 3 in the problem solving in computer programming is implementation. What is actually implementation? Implementation is the process of implementing an algorithm, okay, by writing a computer program using a programming language. The keyword here is implementation is the phase or is the stage, is the step where the computer programmer write a computer program using a programming language. For example, using Java language or others. And it's also a step where we're going to convert or transfer the algorithm into coding. That's step number 3. Let's move to the step number 4. Step number 4 in problem solving is testing. Testing is the process of executing. Please look to this keyword, executing a program to demonstrate its correctness. For example, run the program. And this is a step where we are going to make a program verification. It's the process of ensuring the program meets a user requirement. And this is also the step that we have to identify. You have to identify error. Okay, this is a testing step. There have 2 types of error in the step 4 testing. First is syntax error. Occurs when the code violates the syntax or grammar of the programming language. This happens because of the misspell, maybe the programmer write in incorrect syntax or incorrect quotation, incorrect signs. It will happen the syntax error. It will cause the syntax error. Occurs when the programmer fails to obey one of the grammar rules of the language. The second type of error is logic error, flaw in program design that causes inaccurate result. And the third type of error is runtime error, program error or event that causes the program to stop running. It's about the problem of the software. Occurs whenever the program instructs the computer to do something that it is either incapable or unwilling to do. It is of the software error. Software. Okay, software error. Okay, let's look to the last step in the problem solving. There is a documentation. Documentation contains description of the program. It's about detail of the program that help other programmer in editing or maintaining the program later. It can be done in two ways. Writing comment between your line of code. It is for the coding documentation. And creating a script text file to explain the flow of the program. Now we look to the summarization for this topic. Okay, we can see here. Right. Let's recall the step in problem solving. The first step is problem analysis. It's a place where you're going to determine input, process, and output, or to identify input, process, and output. Design a solution. We are write an algorithm, whether the algorithm is pseudocode or flowchart. Step 3 is implementation. We produce a coding, or we are source code using a programming language or IDE. Step number 4, check for the correctness, and especially there are 3 types of error: syntax error, logic error, and runtime error. And the documentation, the last step is to write a report. The importance of documentation. Documentation enables programmer to understand the flow of the program for the future reference, to guide user to use the program, explain the purpose of the code step. That's all for our first topic in approach in problem solving. In the next video, we are going to focus more on the design a solution, where we are going to see the problem statement in the way how the pseudocode and flowchart to solve that problem. That's all for today. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.